But I respect all that work and gave me that choice whether I wanted to be or not to be. And to give me the freedoms that I have in this country that we all too often take for granted, and how we forget our veterans when they come home and need our help, and our own government makes them fight for every benefit that they were promised. We need to do as much as we can for all our veterans, and the ranch is really helping out. It's free to the veterans, and I salute JR and his whole staff for everything they do. Um, and I just wanted to give. I made a donation to the ranch. I felt that wasn't enough. My sources are limited, but my hair will grow back, my beard will grow back if I wanted to, and it's a great cause. And let's see if we can get some people to donate some money and have some fun while we're doing it.
There we go. And I know one guy that loves to have fun. This J.R. Smith here at the Veterans Ranch. You're a fun lover, right? Right, J.R.? What does fun mean to you? Let's talk fun.
JR. Hey, this is fun. There's all kinds of fun. I've been in Texas for 2 weeks. That's been an amazing amount of fun. I could take the whole hour telling you everything we've been doing. Just can't thank Ralph enough for, wanting to do this. The one thing, that Ralph said that I want to let everybody out there know, he said, his resources aren't much. You know what, if you give us $20, that could be the best $20 you got to give. And we thank you the same as if you wrote a check with 2 commas. We all put our pants on the same way, one leg at a time. And you know what? We love everybody that helps and supports the Veterans Ranch. And with what Ralph's doing today, it really, from our hearts, we truly appreciate it, because he's got more hair than I do, but I ain't cutting mine off. I tell you what. So I applaud him for what he's doing. We have a lot of fun playing with horses and working with veterans, right? Free equine therapy for veterans and their immediate household family across Florida and Texas. I am here in Texas right now for 1 more week, garnering up more support and going to look at a 95-acre piece of property next week. So stay tuned for that. A lot of stuff going on, as we grow and as we expand. When all our properties have a minimum of 12 horses on them, we can serve 5,000 to 10,000 veterans and their family a year out of one property. Okay, so multiply that by how many you could support us in helping put out there. There's 10 million veterans just in Texas, probably close to 3 million now in Florida. We need a lot of properties to get a lot of stuff. But let's start here today with something simple. We tell people all the time, hey, if you eat out, you got some extra money to give. You smoke cigars, drink beer, go to the ice cream shop, whatever it might be. Right, Paul? You had your ice cream shop. So whatever it is, trucks once, $15 a month, which is really only $180 a year. You don't want to mess with the monthly. Just do a one-time donation of $180. Guess what? If we get 22,000 people making a one-time donation of $180, that's $4 million, folks. I don't need a CEO writing a check with commas. I need proud, loving, God-fearing American patriots to make that time donation. Guess what? That's 1 or 2 properties we could buy right there. Back to you, because I could talk all day.
We might keep this thing rolling. We might do one of Zach Clayton's 22-hour deals. So
right,
folks. All right. So we're gonna check in with our friend Barbara Weinstein. Barbara Weinstein, are you out there? Are you able to share a little bit of your thoughts about what you see happening? You witnessed the magic. You're part of the magic happening here at the World Ability Podcast. What are your thoughts? What is this all doing for you? What's your response for our veterans?
Oh, definitely. There's people that, can you hear me?
Yes, you're good. You're doing good.
There's people, suffering anywhere. We all have to care, because I believe, a family can only be as happy as the saddest person in their family, and we're a worldwide family. I would hope right now, we're caring about all the children that are coming to this planet. And what I think is that I think veterans might have a wonderful opportunity to talk to our young people and encourage them. There's so much mentoring that it needs to be done. with so many young people, they say, why we have all this like piercing and tattooing? Because young people want to show us, how creative they can be and how brave they are, and let us understand that, to want to know, what's happening inside of them. What are they thinking? What are they feeling? And to ask questions that helps pull that out of them, where they can feel loved and they can feel intelligent and okay. And I think a lot of veterans might be in a position to, become those men. When men's liberation first started, Robert Bly was talking about women aren't really strong enough to raise men, that it really takes men who can be mothering, fathering, who can be nurturing to help men grow. And I know in my years as a teacher or counselor, when boys would be roughhousing like that, I'd get scared. We'd know when to step in, when to try to stop what was happening, or just let guys, let the boys be boys. And we were talking about that this morning. And what I want to know is, when we're talking about like money for land, like how is that used? How long can somebody come, and can they come with their family? And how long can they stay on the land? And how much time do they have to be with horses? If we're being asked to contribute, which I'd be glad to do, I really want to know where the money's going and how it's being used. I'd really like to hear more about that.
Absolutely. Happy to share. So the one property, some of that money, if we raised the $4 million, it goes to buy the property here in Texas. It's about $1.7 million. It has some housing on it already. So we're going to have to hire a minimum 10 people right off the bat. And the only people we're hiring are veterans and immediate household family. We want that money going right back into the veteran community. We are going to be building short-term housing on the property, whether you need a day, a week, a month, up to a year to get back on your feet, or maybe you just want to stay for a weekend and go back to your normal life. You're going to learn to cowboy up a little bit, though. You're going to be out there mucking stalls with the rest of us. It's not Club Med. It's going to be 3 hots and a cot. You're going to be working out in the Texas and Florida heat. So we're going to be doing that. We're bringing in another veteran nonprofit that is a good friend of ours called Veterans Produce. We're going to show people how to grow your own food with hydroponics and aquaponics. We're going to have 2 separate greenhouses doing that. We'll be able to sell up to close to 4,000 plants, or grow 4,000 plants at once. Also do tilapia, and better tilapia than what you get in your grocery store that comes from China that has no flavor in it. You got to put all kinds of seasonings on store-bought tilapia because it tastes like mush. But this will have real good flavor to it. So some of the money goes to building those greenhouses, paying veterans just to run that part of the operation. We're going to sell tickets for people to come in and learn how to do that. So veterans have their service of giving back and helping. So they'll be able to teach those classes. We'll sell them some, little take-home hydroponic kits so they can learn how to do that. And then they're also going to run our fruit and vegetable stand that we'll have from those products, and it'll teach them how to become self-employed if they want to be self-employed and run their own business. So everything we do is revolved around giving the veterans back everything they deserve. Ralph nailed it right on the head. My dad's a Vietnam veteran. My own Aero veteran. They served at the same time. His ship just didn't go back to Vietnam. Their father was big tail into World War II. And 3 of my buddies went straight to the box right out of high school. They all came back. Of course, you never come back home the same. You can't. You've seen and experienced things that you're not the young, dumb 18-year-old kid anymore. So there's going to be a lot of those things. A lot of local money going back, money going back into the local community. We're going to provide key employee insurance for those special employees, and we're going to pay the premiums for it. We're not going to make it come out of their pocket. So that's where this money's going. It's not going to exorbitant salaries. I can tell you nobody on the founders of the Veterans Ranch paid themselves in 5.5 years, because it has been more important for money to go to the mission, not my pocket. But some of that will go to a salary. You know, we lost a business during COVID, and I've learned how to live on a lot less than what I used to make when I was in the sales world of commission sales. I don't need $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year salaries. No, none of the founders do. We want the money going to the mission and serving our veteran community, because they are promised a lot. They got to fight to get it, as Ralph said. We're dealing with transition issues of, you know, because let me be real clear on a topic real quick, not just money. Because we're here to talk about money today, and that's kind of the captain obvious thing that all nonprofits need, right? We all know that. But not all veterans want to kill themselves. Not all veterans want to commit suicide. Not all veterans have PTS, okay? You see this a lot in TV commercials today. And I'm not calling out any organizations. They understand, they have top paid marketer people that understand heartstrings go to wallet strings. So they show you a lot of veterans missing arms and legs and need to get a house because they live in a wheelchair. And by all means, that absolutely exists. And there's more of them than we'd ever care to admit. But it's not the only thing. Okay, some veterans have PTS not because they were a door kicker overseas, but they only made $31,000 a year with a wife and 2 kids, and they're on food stamps. You know, in country music, when you hear them saying that they do this and there's bills they can't pay, they're not making this up. You know, you go to Panda Express and become a starting manager at $60,000 a year, and unless you're in a bad neighborhood, you're not getting shot at. You know, I'm sorry. You know. Nothing against Panda Express or anybody, but we're really going to pay our veterans that are protecting our way of life less than a guy hawking kind of bad Chinese food. You know, sorry if anybody likes Panda Express, don't at me, okay? But it's not really good. Point is, we are out here to serve the ones that served us all, and the money goes to the mission. You know, last year, I'll tell you, we're very transparent. Okay, our 990s. We pulled in $65,000 last year. Some of that came out of my own pocket. I only reimbursed myself $300 out of about the $4,000 or $5,000 I put in it. Okay, because I know they say you shouldn't put your own money into a nonprofit. I don't care. The mission needs to move forward. I'm not here to reimburse myself for everything I put in. So that very long answer is to say the money's going to the mission.
Oh, that was a great answer.
There you go. So that will wrap up our first segment of the World of Ability podcast show here, supporting the Veterans Ranch. Again, theveteransranch.org. We are hoping that everybody listening and watching is going to theveteransranch.org. So Ralph, you've stirred up this event, this devotion on Armed Forces Day and in support of the Veterans Ranch. And with this tease and novelty of, we get to watch you have your hair loss. We get to watch hair loss in action. So tell us a little bit more of the program. How are we going to do this here? Is your beautician there yet? Or
yeah, my unlicensed beautician is here. She seems to be wanting to enjoy this a little bit too much. She's got her clippers ready. So whenever you're ready to get it started, you just let us know, and she'll start buzzing away.
All right. So let's first introduce. Is your daughter a licensed? Is your daughter a licensed beautician, or how is it that she's cutting your hair? She knows enough to get it done. Is that where we're at?
She's done some haircuts before, but her kids, and
it's just fun.
Even to me once, but I made the mistake of telling her, you know, it's only here, it'll grow back, and she said, well, then you should look into it. So she actually works for HNP. She had her 5 minutes of fame by being on Richie's show.
No. Christie's new product.
Yeah, Who Loves Christie? They were at HNP getting their daughter's product line launched, and my daughter was actually the one that helped them get their stuff together. So they put her on the show for 5 minutes, talking to them. But she's ready to go. So
She seems very anxious.
her name is Daniela, and my wife is actually online watching, and I guess she's going to be having a laugh also.
Oh yeah. You see Danielle, she's got them clippers. Like, come on, Dad. I'm ready to go, Dad. Come on.
I did bring an electric set as well, so she can't tell me that the battery died and we're left where we're at.
All right. So Ralph, are we looking at like 3 weeks ago you got your haircut? How much growth since your last haircut, a regular haircut?
I should have had my regular haircut about a month ago.
And you skipped the haircut for the Veterans Ranch?
Yes. I actually was going to push it out another week until we realized first she wasn't available a week later, and it turned out to be great because it ended right on Armed Force Day.
Yes.
So, God has a bigger purpose than I do. So
there you go. And what it'll allow us to do, folks, is we're going to be really strong across the next 9 days. We're going to carry this all the way through the Memorial Day weekend. We're going to finish strong with the Veterans Ranch. We're going to devote the remaining days to the Veterans Ranch. So a call out there to spread the veteransranch.org to as many people around the world that we can get this website to. That's the name of the game here. So Daniela, Ralph, this is the halftime show at the Happy Neighborhood Project. Now Sue, Emily, everybody, Paul Valek, you all know how to do the screenshot and everything. We're gonna kind of get out of here a little bit. Let me remove myself. Let's get in the background.
Yeah,
let's take some photos here.
Yeah, Kurt, are we doing the before and after shots? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get the screenshots going, and we need like about 80 pictures in the next 8 minutes. So that it's almost like a movie, through photos. So here we go. Let's take it away. Danielle.
Buzz.
I liked it.
So there we go. So as Danielle is doing her work, JR, let's think a little bit more about. Tell us a little bit more of the story for background to the visual of this, and then feel free to do commentary, JR, about the event. Do kind of the color commentary, the technical commentary, and
I can do it.
We want to keep learning about the Veterans Ranch.
Yeah, so the Veterans Ranch was started in 2017. Okay, like I said, I already shared with you some of my veteran history and my family. I'm a proud patriot, cowboy boots, never combat boots. Here we go. There goes the hair. Okay, I feel like the Kentucky Derby, and they're off at the Kentucky Derby. Okay, so we started this literally God directed with a legal pad. My dad always taught me to keep legal pads by the bed in case you get an idea in the middle of the night. I had a lot of legal pads went a whole lot of nowhere. Starting ideas, realized it really wasn't the idea you thought it was. And October of 2017, woke up at 3 a.m. one morning and scribbled, chicken scratched the word ranch on a piece of paper. Had no idea what that meant. I'm kind of doing one of these. I'm kind of looking up and looking down like, hey, you kind of want to let me know what this means here. And my wife and I are horse people, so you thought this would have been a real easy thing to figure out. But boy, it's coming off. Now he's down to about as much hair as I got. Now maybe a little more. I've lost a few rows off the front of the stadium, so I don't know. But yeah, that's why we're happy. You're like, you bald under there? No, but I like covering it up. So a couple weeks later, we're after a lot of prayer, a lot of reflection, my wife and I are going to Bass Pro Shops because I am that guy that you can drop off at open, pick up at close, and I will never be bored. I will find something to do and come out spending more money than I ever should have. We stopped at Chili's for lunch. Now, if you ever been to Chili's, their napkins are only about this stinking big, right? So I got an idea, and I'm in sales. I always have a pen on me, right? Not that day. My wife's chuckling. She's like, oh, you didn't have a pen, huh, sales guy? So he gives me a pen. Long story short, about 20 Chili's napkins later, the ideas for the Veterans Ranch were born. Some good ideas, some bad ideas, take a couple half-ass ideas, make a good idea out of it. And by December of that year, we were an official nonprofit charity. Right now, we operate out of our house in Lakeland, Florida. So for everybody that doesn't know where that is, you got Disney World that we don't claim. You got Tampa, and Lakeland's right smack in the middle. So so that's where we are. We use other people's horses. We use other people's facilities. They allow us to come in and bring the veterans in and put on weekend clinics. So you check in on a Friday afternoon, we hang out, we do, burgers, dogs, never any beer or anything like that, because Bible says don't tempt your fellow man. If somebody's dealing with any issues like that, you don't want to, we're not there for that. So we just, we do that. Saturday, we work with the horses all day long. I mean, we're up early. I'm up at 4 a.m. I'm normally up at 5 on a regular basis. But on these days, I'm up at 4 a.m. and I'm cooking bacon and eggs. I mean, cowboy breakfast, boy. If you're counting calories, you don't want to come to one of my events. Nothing super duper healthy, although they are farm fresh eggs, better than store-bought eggs. So at least there's better nutritional value there. Work with the horses all day. Saturday night, at the beginning, we always give you a little booklet. Okay, now what's the booklet for? You write down names and numbers for contact information. Sure, we live on these things nowadays, but I could put a number in my phone right now, set it down, 2 seconds later, forget the number I put in the phone. Okay, when you write with intention, it sticks in your head better. We also ask you to write down something you need to let go of. Now, we don't force anybody to do any of this, but we do share with you, you're going to get out of it what you put in it. Okay. So Saturday night, we let everybody know, hey, y'all, it's getting a little serious, which, by the way, when you go to the veteransranch.org, not only can you make a donation, hit the shop button, and I've got a t-shirt that says, hey, y'all on it, because y'all hear me say that. And anybody that's relatively from the South knows the plural of y'all is all y'all. Okay, so anyway, back to the campfire. We tell everybody it's getting a little serious, and if you want to hang out, great. If you want to go over there and shoot the breeze, do it. So this one of the last times we did this. There's me, Air Force veteran, and a Marine.
You can do that.
It's getting less. It's getting down there. Wow, getting to look like summertime cut. So I take out my page, I stand up, I share what's on the page, and I throw it in the fire. When you throw the page in the fire and the words burn, they're gone. Gotta let them go. Now, the reality is, if that's all it took, we'd all be at a campfire at the end of every day, chucking 5,000 pages in a fire. Okay, it's the first step in a 1,000-mile journey. This young man shares, the Air Force veteran, because he had a pretty emotional moment earlier in the day working with the horses. He shared what was on his piece of paper and threw it in the fire. That made the Marine next to him share. Now, PTS is universal. Everybody on this screen has walked through something in their life that has some kind of post-traumatic stress. You do not have to be door kicker, ranger, SEAL Team 6. Okay, this guy spent his whole 4 years in Honolulu. Must have sucked to be him, right? He flew in Ospreys. Okay, those plane/helicopters where the rotors rotate, and everything. Well, in the early days of those Ospreys, sadly, some of them didn't like to stay in the air very well. He was not on this particular training mission. 3 of his buddies were on it. The plane goes down. Nobody comes back home. Nobody. Survivor's Guild. Why wasn't I number 4? I should have been on that plane with my buddies. Celebrates, they call it in the service your extraction date. Celebrates their extraction date every year. Remembrance more than a celebration. Okay. He shares all this, throws his page in the fire. Now I'm just sitting there dumbfounded. Okay. Not because of what their stories were, but because any veteran out there watching this right now, you're like a bobblehead going like this. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. It's hard enough for veterans to share with other veterans, much less somebody they don't think will understand the story. Okay. Because again, cowboy boots, never combat boots. I didn't have 4 drill instructors yelling 4 separate orders at me at the same time that I had to obey using words my mama never used. Okay, that happens to a lot of folks. So They started to thank me for what we were doing in this event. One man drove 4 hours to get to me. One came in from Arkansas, okay, to Florida. The other one drove from Jacksonville to little old Lake Wales, Florida. I said, stop. They're like, we shouldn't thank you? I'm like, oh, don't get me wrong. You know, the one thing we always say is this is the good Lord and the horse. We do not take credit for any of this. I've come up with some humdinger ideas in my day. I just turned 50 back in December, not this one. Okay, I couldn't have come up with all this. I couldn't come up with being in Texas and possibly buying almost a 100-acre ranch. I said, thank you for sharing such experiences with a civilian like me. Now, I do a lot of what they call, if you're in NASCAR and you remember Dale Earnhardt, I call them Dale Earnhardt hugs. He'd wrap his arm around your neck and pull you over and, you know, give you them hugs around the neck. Okay. There's a lot, you know, there's 3 dudes sitting around this campfire. Shut up, I ain't crying, you're crying. Oh, it's the smoke from the fire. Shut up. Hey. You know, we all sit down. It was a good time the rest of the night. We all turned on like Pandora or something on our phones, singing country music as loud as we could, on key, off key. We didn't care. Other people were coming over like, what the hell are you guys doing? We're like, nothing, we're good. I still stay in touch with both those guys to this day. Okay. That is the power that sharing your feelings, right? As men, as veterans, we are taught to shove it down, compartmentalize, don't talk about it, stiff upper lip. You got to have the big shoulders and support the family. And to a degree, that's true in some of that, okay? But you're actually stronger to share it than to compartmentalize it and just shove it down and forget it ever existed. Because when PTS episodes exist for veterans, what happens is all those emotions you have shoved down and forgotten about hit you like a waterfall all at one time. Human brain's not designed to figure out how to process that all at once. So you freak out, okay? So the more veterans can share through God's majestic animal, the horse. I'm good at flapping my gums, as y'all can tell. We're getting down to the buzz cut. It's not quite boot camp cut yet, but we're getting there. You know, the more, you know, horses listen very well. They can be smart asses and talk back a little bit, but they'll listen to your whole life story, okay? Horses can feel a gnat land on their back. They know everything about you 10 to 15 feet away, okay? To get a little scientific, okay? Because I'm a country boy that knows how to work with horses, but I study a lot of stuff. A human's energy field is 5 to 7 feet. That's why most people can sneak up on you real quick before you know they're there. A horse is 15 to 30. Think about that. When you see horses, they're always paying, okay, they only get about a 24% vision right in front of them because where their eyes are on their head. They got like a 60% field of view over here. So that's why you'll see one ear looking forward and one ear turned this way looking at you because they want to know what you got going on. They're blood pumping mirrors, okay? Everything that you feel and project to them is what you're getting back. Stress, fear, anxiety, overly happy just to see horses, right? They want to figure you out because they're pack animals and prey animals. Now, what does that mean? Oh, she had to go to the shorter clipper. What does that mean? Well, out in the wild, they have a leader, okay? The leader of the pack. Go back to some 60s music there for a second. Actually, that's 50s. So they want to know who their leader is. That's all horses want to know, quite honestly, when you're working with a horse. Are you strong enough to be my leader? Because if not, they're big toddlers with 4 legs and they will just do whatever the heck they want. And are you going to hurt me? That's all they want to know. Because their fight or flight is flight 99% of the time. They just rather get away from the situation because all they can do is bite you or kick you. Starting to see some skin on top of that head. Biting and kicking us hurts like hell. If you've ever had a horse bite you or kick you, it is not pleasant. Okay? But out in the wild, that's not much of a defense mechanism. So they just rather get away from the situation. So just the absolute power of what that can create, taking a grown man that just shows up, not thinking he's all that in a bag of chips, but just again, trying to keep that stiff upper lip. And a horse walks up and touches him right in the chest with her nose. And a watershed moment occurs like that. That he's crying like he's 2 years old. Just uncontrollable. It's not him per se. It's just that watershed moment where things start leaving you. That's the power of God's majestic animal, horse. I'm just the guy that he said, go do this. And I'm obeying orders. You know, I get to play with these amazing things on a pretty regular basis. And it just, the minute you make that bond of trust with an animal like that, because it's truly what it is, okay? Because your family will let you down. I mean, is anybody out here going like this right now? Okay, they bobbleheading again. Your family will let you down. Your friends will let you down. Co-workers that you've worked with for 20 years will step over you to get a promotion so you don't get it. A horse, you will let your horse down before a horse lets you down. If you think there's a problem with your horse 99 out of 100 times, there's something wrong with you. Because again, your horse is just bringing it back to you. It's harsh. It's harsh stuff to talk about. Nobody wants to admit, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm good. We lie to each other every day. As men, as veterans, you know, again, we're taught how to do this from a young age, okay? What are the 2 words here? How you doing today? I'm fine. I'm good. Those are not feelings. Those are diversionary answers. And I say them 10,000 times a day out of habit. How you doing? All good. All good in the hood, you know. There are all kinds of stuff out there. And my day could be an absolute train wreck. I ain't gonna let you know it. Because it's that, you know, we don't want to let that out. We don't want to let people think we're weak. You know, I'm sitting on a bar stool chair right now. I'm 6'4" and 260. Okay. I'm built like a, you know, calf wrestler, offensive lineman. I got to meet some Dallas Cowboy football players the other day, and I was the small guy in the bunch. Can you believe that? So, you know, don't be afraid to share the emotions. Doesn't mean you got to be a crier. You don't got to be a crybaby to make progress. But let people know what's going on. Everybody out there right now, okay? If you're a civilian, if you're a veteran, you're no longer wearing the uniform, go get a battle buddy. Because now it's a life battle buddy. Because if people don't think life's a battle, yeah, you're kidding yourself. It's a battle every day. From the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. You're battling in traffic. You're battling at work. Get a battle buddy. Check in on your battle buddy daily. Even if you just shoot them a text. What's up, man? How you doing? Thinking about you. Just want to see how you're doing. Get with that battle buddy, especially veterans. Them, reach out to them because they won't tell you. They won't tell you if they're going through something. Some will, but by and large, no. So when you reach out to that battle buddy, you never know what one simple text message could turn somebody's life around. Maybe they're a fifth of jack a day and they got their combat 45 in their hand. Okay. We try and get them way here, way upstream. We want to get them as soon as they transition out of service to help them with that. So it never gets to this point down here. Because ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about now is no longer 22 a day. In 2017, when we started this, we knew a number of 17 to 22. There's always kind of an argument as to what the actual number is, because let's face it, Paul knows governments never lie about numbers, right?
That's right.
We are pushing 44. I got some really good connected friends here in Texas in the veteran space. We are 44 to 60. 60 a day suicide. At 44, that is over 16,000 great Americans checking out off this planet every year that don't need to. All right, now Ralph's starting to, I hate to lighten the mood. I got to lighten the mood for a second. Ralph's starting to look like Mad Max. Maybe you just ought to keep the beard and just go bald. you know. Put the old Road Warriors WWF wrestling pads on him with the spikes like he's a Raiders fan or something.
There you go. So JR, what I'd like to do, if we can, let's bring in our friend Orica here. Orica was recognized by the Happy Neighborhood Project feature Verified Happy Business with HMP. I think this is really great to take a moment to demonstrate through HMP. There's been a meeting called HMP Veteran Entrepreneurs and so forth. And Orica here, in the work that we've been doing with her here at the World of Ability, we know Orica's heart is really there with veterans. And so she's here with, technology that really helps water quality and helps with the water we drink. And then to look at with horses, the equine benefit of the water. So Orica, can you tell us a little bit about that? Because here at the World of Ability, we want to be in the business of, on Armed Forces Day, that for our military forces and for our veterans, we're calling out here at the World of Ability for high water quality and to optimize the water that is there for our military and veterans. But help us, Orica, understand a little bit. What is it that you do bring to us? How does it work? What's it all about? Because let's get this to our veterans.
Hi, Kat. Thank you for having me. First, I want to tell you why I am here. I am in Happy Neighborhood Project for the last 2 years. And Kurt was the first person who impressed me from what he's doing. I say, how in the world he can share his time? How he can do whatever he does? Then I met Sue. And I understood why. So you are an amazing family who are doing a lot for disabled people. And my heart is with the disabled because I lost a son when he was 11. And my continued question is, what is hard, to lose a child or to have a disabled one? And when we are talking about veterans, we are thinking pretty much they are disabled. But I work in a non-profit organization for about 8 years, and I still know there are even veterans or disabled people who can do something for themselves. And we don't have to just think we can put $50, $100, or whatever we can do. But we can teach them and help them to start doing something and to help people around them who are even worse than they are. And we talked before about my business, which is my second business. Actually, I do the care about the water, which can be introduced to the veterans or to the disabled community, where somebody like JR or somebody who JR knows is able to manage and to train the people. If they have ice, I have that single water machine, which is actually a tool where people can improve the life of people around them. And also, I know we talked with Kurt, but we didn't finalize to give a machine and to train a team which are able to start doing and sharing the water and even teaching the people how the water can improve the life. And the quality of alkaline water can improve even some things which the veterans, some disability which the veterans have. Because drinking the good water is actually the key for a healthy lifestyle. And if we will teach them to learn to drink more water and to have a good water, then I think we can help them and even give them a purpose in life, and they will say, why should I kill myself? Because I can help a third, or I I can help John to get in a better shape and to don't become a disabled and to suffer and go towards the suicide. I love your cause and I would like what you are doing there, and I am here to help as much as I can.
Thank you.
Yeah, excellent, Orica. Thank you very much for your support, devotion, and as we listen to you, we can really hear how your heart is into this. It's really great to have you a part of our support coming from the Happy Neighbor Project side, and obviously for you personally, for sure. So I want to go ahead and give Dean Ennis a chance to be able to come in here. He's got a solution on fuel. So basically what I'd like to do is let's talk about that a little bit. When you're running the Veterans Ranch and, there's the trucks and, people coming out to all these events and all the miles put on and so forth. We have a resource here. If you can come in here a little bit and share a little bit about your reaction to being on the show, and then help us understand a little bit of where this fuel confidence comes from, available through fuelconfidence.now.site. Take it away, Dee. What do you have?
Oh, my timing on this, we were gone somewhere, had an appointment and I had to get back. But, being a Vietnam veteran myself, I've seen a lot of guys shine me on. So I wanted to make sure I got here to make sure that Ralph really went through with what he committed to.
Yeah.
I'm glad he is a real trooper. Ralph, my hands off to you. Congratulations, guy. You're following through. You're really helping a great project, which I'll be visiting the Veterans Ranch after the call and making a donation. But unless we do it now, I don't know how you do it. But and Ralph, well, my product, that's not a big deal here. What Ralph is doing is a big deal because it's a commitment right there. But another nice thing about it, Ralph likes me enough to trust me enough that he uses XP3 for his whole family. So it's a great product. I help people, but this whole thing is just. I said, how am I going to get? I've never gone on a Zoom call with a number, and hoolah, I got on. So thank you, Kurt, for having this here. Anything else you'd like to know about me and my attitude?
Well, Dee, you and I can talk later because I drive an F-350 diesel, and I drove from Florida to Texas, and I have burned 4 tanks since I've been here in 2 weeks because you can't go anywhere in Texas and not drive an hour. So one way. So I think I've put on 1,600 miles since I've been here in town. So yeah, we could probably talk.
Okay, do we do a chat here, Kurt? I can put my chat in there.
Yeah, you can go ahead and put any details you'd like in the chat. Let's keep doing our happy.
Can see that. Yeah, JR, I had a Ford F-350 Power Stroke diesel, and that's where I started using it because I didn't want my injectors to get all dirty, and they sure protected them. Now it's my other three vehicles. It just works beautifully. So yeah, we'll talk.
We'll definitely talk. Yeah, because mine's just getting broke in. It's at almost 212,000 pounds.
The smallest one on there first. Yeah.
So it's still got a long ways to go. So I'd like to keep it running.
Yep, you'll love it.
Good deal.
All right,
Looking
so we're
good. The beard's getting a little shorter. I'm telling you, Ralph will be able to go rob a bank when he's all done. No one's going to recognize him.
That's right. We're gonna have fun with this one. He's going to be a poster child for how H&P comes out and supports great causes and rally the crews. Over 4,000 members of the Happy Neighbor Project. So we're going to put the appetite for H&P members and our sponsors, and with Edwin himself, and we're going to call out. We're going to say, how much support can we muster, for the Veterans Ranch? I'm kind of at a crossroads with how to use words because I want to say no horsing around, but there are going to be horses around.
We'll throw the fun.
We'll throw the fun.
Yeah. So speaking of this kind of wit and humor, let's bring in Paul Valek here, coming from the Phoenix, Arizona area. And, Paul helped us in the show previous to this with the TDC Today show, USA, to help us create that tease into all this. Oh, what do you make of all this? You're a long timer with HMP and, you know, been a part of the co-host community and so forth. So what do you think of what Ralph's doing here? I know you came because you couldn't believe he was doing it.
Well, you know, you have to see it and all. And, you know, one of the things I found that a whole bunch of people shouldn't be are really here to just help out and to help somebody else or other organizations. And it's not about them, but about the group or whatever they're talking. I do want to talk a little bit about what JR talked about, the horses. The horse you see behind me, one of my favorite events to go attend is the Arabian Horse Show every year in Arizona. And it is fascinating to see these animals. Just, you know, what you said, JR, about the ears and this, and I love to wander back behind where the stables are and just go see them and say, hey, you're not, I just want to come spend time with you. And, you know, they just come and look and you can nuzzle their nose, and they are so appreciative that someone came back there to spend time with them. And this horse was being led around, and the minute that I put my camera on it, it was like, yes. And it was like, you could see the teeth, and, you know, normally it was just kind of coming around with that, but man, when he knew that he was on, he was like, he is a ham. And I've got a few others, and I've got some other photos, and they love to kind of grab you by the jacket, because sometimes, believe it or not, it's cold in Arizona in February. Mm-hmm. And they'll grab the jacket and they'll try to pull on you and all of this. And people say, are they trying to bite you? I go, no, he's not trying to bite me. He's just trying to get some attention.
Yeah, just playing with you. Like I said, they're toddlers. They're toddlers with 4 legs.
It's pretty fascinating to see. Some of these horses are huge. There was another lady that used to do horse shows for kids, and she would go through some men, and all the kids were various ages, but the most dramatic one was there was the biggest horse in the round had the little girl. She was a little bit, she had, I don't know if she had full Down syndrome or what, but this humongous horse knew that the rider was a special person, that it wasn't your regular human being, kid, and all this, that this person was a very special person. Even the horse knew that existed. So to me, that was like, wow, how does this horse know this? How does this horse know it's not any of the other
No, the little one.
girls riding? So
that's why we call them God's majestic animal. They just know.
Yeah.
I used to work with, I was a trainer for racehorses in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut circuit. The horses are so intelligent. I also had the pleasure of working for Medieval Times for security, and they used to do a routine with called the drunk night. Every time he put the blanket on the horse before he would put the saddle on it, when he would go to pick up the saddle, the horse would take the blanket back off. And that routine would go on for a couple of minutes. So very intelligent animals. I had one horse, after every race, we had to put him in circulation boots, whirlpool boots for his legs. And he had to be in there for an hour. As soon as the hour was up, he'd start nodding his head like, it's been an hour. Get me out of here.
It's time. Take him off.
The only reason why we can control a horse is their eyesight magnifies us. When they look at us, we're a tree standing next to them. And that's why if you raise your hand to a horse, they'll back down, because, you know, you're picking up a whole tree like you're going to hit them with a tree. If it wasn't for their eyesight, we would never even really get close to them.
There you go. So
well, when I nuzzled the horses, I would put my hand kind of near their nose and let them put their nose into it so that I wouldn't scare them or anything. But yeah, it's just fascinating. It's like I said, it's one of my favorite events to go down, and just, you know, forget those millionaires and billionaires that own them and all of this are driving that. It's great to just be among the animals down below.
all right, so D, you have something? What do you have, D?
Yeah, you know, I don't do much horsing around, but when I was in the JCs, we were in Nashville, Tennessee, and I was the photographer for the group. and I had a bulky bunch of cameras, and we all, JC's, Las Vegas JC's always ride horses and we always carry guns on our hips. That was a long time ago. So I was given a horse, and it was her name. She was a Tennessee lady was her name. She was a Tennessee walker. And so I was, I'm in the middle of crowds. I'm walking. All I had to do was push her with my knees, and she would go anywhere around the crowds on the sidewalks. I could go turn around and take pictures, and then she'd come back around. I mean, she was a really intelligent and gentle horse. They are really smart.
By the way, Dee, I didn't say it before, and I meant to welcome home, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, good to be back.
All right, good stuff happening here. So, Jay, I want to check in here. Basically, we're in the encore portion of the program, so I want to just kind of do a check-in. JR, if you had to get off doing other things, or if you're enjoying this and want to hang a while.
I'm good. I don't have a board meeting for another 2 hours, so I'm good.
2 hours. Barbara, what do you have for us?
Oh, I have another meeting that to rush off to, but this has been such a pleasure to learn about horses and men and women. This has been great. I'm grateful that I got to be here with everybody right now.
Well, we're glad you could be here.
Barbara, our ongoing supporter of the work here at the World of Ability podcast show. Again, don't forget, everybody, the key to this whole thing is visiting and getting familiar with the veteransranch.org. Visit that website, theveteransranch.org, and get familiar with the program and share that out with folks that you know, and obviously get connected to all the social media put out by the Veterans Ranch. JR and the team there works very diligently to create an effective social media campaign, and that's a great way to support this project. Whatever you feel you're limited to offline, please participate online with your smartphones and devices. Share this live stream if you can. And so we're going to kind of enter into an open discussion then, because again, this is the encore. We basically accomplished everything we set out to do today, but these causes are so important. I'm not going to shut anything down. Everybody can feel free with their time. So if our guests here have anything that you're going to move on to, don't let us hold you up, but we're going to enjoy this arrangement here. And plus, we have Daniela still working hard to finish things up. So we're going to cover the entirety of this thing right down to the last whisker. So what does anybody have? Let's share some thoughts. Maybe we'll go to our co-host team. Emily, what are you thinking about today? It seems like as much as you're a podcast engineer, an H&P ambassador, illustrious supporter of the Veterans Ranch and so on and so forth, it seems like your mind was blown away in the last hour. Am I on the right track here?
Yeah, this has been awesome. This is a first for H&P and the World of Ability, and so I think this is great. We should have something like this again. So I thought this was awesome.
There we go. So there we have instigator Emily. We say OMG, EMG because Emily's middle initial is M, initial is EMG. So OMG, EMG. So D, what's next?
Question.
Shoot.
Who's Danielle?
Daniela. Daniela is the beautician, making beautiful, looking like he's ready to enlist, So we might have to do some training. We might have to have him do push-ups and sit-ups and
I just thought she was a family member or something. I just thought that I wasn't.
Oh yeah, daughter. Yeah. So
she's Ralph's daughter.
I can get down to the push-up, but I won't be getting back up.
That's right. This is entertainment, Ralph. This is education. While we're educating about the Veterans Ranch, you are entertaining us for sure. So JR, what more do you have in terms of what we've accomplished? Let's make sure we're, covering the whole tour here.
We just really want to thank everybody. I got to take a minute and thank a lot of our sponsors. I'm going to sound like a NASCAR guy for a minute. I got the shirt on today. One of our sponsors, and I got to do like what they do on NASCAR. I got to look. America's Finest Resumes out of the kind of Fort Lauderdale, Florida area. Kelly Foy, Foy, find her on LinkedIn. Absolutely amazing. She can write resumes for you, write your LinkedIn profile. She sponsors and supports the Veterans Branch. She comes from a long line of a military family. She sent us this shirt. It's got our logo over here. You can see it as well. So we got her, we got RFD TV, the Cowboy Channel, Allen's Boots in Austin, Texas, Ozzolato Boots. Good Lord, who else am I trying to think of? Vortex Optics. Good Lord, I cannot forget Vortex Optics. Good Northern company up there with you guys, a veteran family-owned company. They send us stuff to sell to help raise money. Let's see, Decker Manufacturing. Good Lord, I cannot forget them out of Keokuk, Iowa. If you don't know where that's at, Google it. And so they send us grooming products to help groom the horses and keep everybody clean. And, sometimes I even use them on my dog. My cat won't let me touch him with it. So we use a lot of their products. Again, family-owned, veteran-owned company. Support veteran-owned companies any which way you can. Grass Hole Systems, okay, out of, there's one for you. If you're sick and tired of going to Lowe's, Home Depot, whatever, and buying sprinkler head covers, the concrete ones break 2 days after you hit it with your lawnmower, or your lawn care crew cracks the cheap plastic ones made in China, and you want to support an American veteran-owned company, GrassHoleSystems.com. They're out of Sarasota, Florida. The founder is a U.S. Navy veteran. The guy that makes the product for him was 82nd Airborne, and it's all American-made plastics. Okay, so you pay about, I think, if it's higher, don't come at me because inflation's a mother. But I think it's like $49 or $59.95 for a pack of 8 of them. You can find Ken Kwiatkowski again on LinkedIn. He's on our advisory board. Great, proud American. GrassHoleSystems.com. Check him out. Man, what else? I don't know. This has just been amazing. Look, thank you to everybody. Again, this is the good Lord putting all this together. One of our favorite phrases is things don't just happen, they happen just. And, I think that's what's going on here today. Ralph, again, thank you. You look, like just 2 years younger. I don't want to make you feel old and say you look 40 years younger, because if I lose this, I look like I'm 12 and I can't shave. So that's why that never disappears. But anyway, just a great opportunity. Looking forward to stuff coming in. Please share this. Again, to say nonprofits need donations is kind of an understatement. We rely on proud Americans like everybody here in Ralph, grants, corporate sponsors. If you're a business out here watching, and let's face it, who couldn't use an extra tax write-off right now? All your donations are tax deductible. We're more than happy to send you the tax receipts. And again, the money's going to the mission. It's not going in my pocket. So, let's, if whether again, it's $20, it's $15 a month, or you make that $180 donation. Again, if I had 22,000 people across this great land of milk and honey making a one-time donation of $180, we're buying at least one property and serving a whole lot of veterans. And then it leaves me money to fly them in from other states to help them where I'm at. I could go more, but I don't want to suck all the oxygen out of the room. What's taxes?
There's also a new veterans owned coffee company called Cup of Joe. So we need to support them too.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. Any veteran-owned business you can find, support it. While I've been here in Texas, I will only shop at local restaurants. I went into a local old mercantile kind of store in a tiny little town that was veteran-owned. They told me to go around, if you want the best pizza in Texas, to go around the corner to Nick's Pizza and Nick was a Marine, so I went over and got a pizza from Nick. And, you know, and everything else. So any veteran-owned business, you can support small business in general, but especially if they're a veteran-owned business, please do it.
Excellent. So Sue, come on in here. I want to kind of tie something together here. I talked to Ralph about a ticket giveaway that's available through the Transform You Media Network. So Transform You Media Network would like to support the Veterans Ranch and, you know, kind of carry out a ticket giveaway. Marcus Hart, our podcast mogul, is going to be waiting for somebody, you know, at the ticket counter, will call style. Marcus Hart himself is going to deliver a ticket to somebody who would commit to go to this 3-day event in Orlando, Florida. And JR, might be you, I don't know. You know, Ralph said he wants to work with us to find out who this person would be that would work on the Veterans Ranch campaign, you know, through an event that is called the Holistic Lifestyle Conference and Expo at the Hilton Orlando. It's a $250 price that people would have to give. So, you know, for sure, whatever people can do to donate to the Veterans Ranch, but we simply just want to see this ticket put into good use with this work being done by Transforming Media Network, Marcus Hart. And so anybody that is interested and wants to discuss this, if it's a good fit, to go and, you know, be the person that gets to use this for the workshops and for the expo area and be able to be in there with everybody at the Hilton Orlando event, May 31st to June 2nd. It's a 3-day event. So anybody who's thinking they're the ones that would just love to use this ticket and carry the flag and moniker of the Veterans Ranch on our behalf. And then anything else that they carry with that, you know, if somebody has a business, for sure, go there and do your own business too. But we're all doing this as supporters of the Veterans Ranch, again, portrayed through the veteransranch.org. All right, so we have our Sergeant at Arms, our, you know, our podcast engineer and stickler of detail as executive assistant. Emily, what do you have?
Well, I just wanted to let everybody know Marcus is a veteran as well.
Absolutely. Yep. So yeah, he fits right into the, you know, the gambit of what is all steered to be. And so Sue, I want you to come in here in terms of what we're doing on this ticket giveaway. I want you to finish that off. And, you know, how do we think we're going to coordinate this to find that person that wants to travel to Orlando or is close enough to Orlando to go ahead and attend this 3-day event in our work in supporting and promoting the Veterans Ranch?
Excellent. Well, actually, I'd say reach out to us and see. We do need to get this in the hands of somebody who can make use of it, and whatever we can do to make that happen. That I'm thrilled that Marcus was able to reach out to us and say, "Hey, this is available. What can we do to make this be a benefit to as many people as possible?" Actually, one person will get to use it, but is there a way that we can make this actually go beyond that? So reach out to us here with World of Ability. Probably the easiest, I'm going to actually give Kurt your phone number, would probably be the easiest way for people to reach us. 262-374, 372-1754. You say it all the time. I just hit the number on my phone. That's where we're in now, right? Just click Kurt.
So again, that's 262-372-1SKI. 262-372-1754. Call and text for anything about the ticket or anything else. And then JR, we're saying the website, anything additional that you want to cite for follow-up to the show, customer service stuff on your nonprofit?
You know, while you're on the website, please visit all the pages, visit the merch store, you know, get you a Hey Y'all t-shirt, get you a red t-shirt. Red stands for Remember Everyone Deployed on Friday till they all come home. We wear red every Friday. You know, you got that. We have, if you are a veteran, You'll know. If you know, you know. We have shirts that say graduate of DD 214 with honors. I'm not going to explain it. If you know, you know. Yep, there you go. ZD gets it. And so we got coffee mugs. We got all kinds of stuff like that. But, you know, one thing that my dad came up with this idea. I can't take an ounce of credit for it. And the good Lord gave the idea to him. You'll see as you're going through the drop-down menus, and you'll see something that says Operation Final Roll Call. Okay, very important thing. We mentioned earlier how the veteran suicide rate's 44 to 60 a day. Nobody remembers them. We have memorial walls of all conflicts. You know, we're now traveling Vietnam walls and things of that nature. That men that served and didn't make it home go on the wall. We don't honor the ones that served, wore the uniform, took it off, but lost battles with their demons. The demons that got them are not who they were, okay? They were football athletes, scholars, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters. If you go to Operation Final Roll Call, there's one name on it right now, and I got to give credit to where credit's due to Brian Gibson from Project Die Hard that gave us the name and gave us the information because their family gave permission. You can go on there and put your family or friends' picture, something funny about them, when they served, where they served. We want to honor and remember them for who they were, not what their final act was. You know, that's the stigma of veteran suicide. Oh, they must have been weak. No, the demons just won. And that's the sad part, because you can't imagine where somebody's head must be at to think that's the solution. So go there, put in your friends' information. We want to grow that to pages and pages and pages of people we honor that served with pride and honor and just, you know, just lost battles when they got home. So please do that. Yeah, hit the donate page. We have so many ways you can donate now. You can do the one-time, monthly, quarterly donations, yearly donations. You can make a donation through donor matching funds. If your company has that as an offer, as a program, they can match your funds. There's so many ways you can do it. You can mail checks. You can, you know, if you want to do the old school snail mail, we give you that option to do that. You know, just help us out. I mean, really, I mean, I hate saying I'm begging for dollars, but we're begging for dollars. We're no different, I'll date myself, than the Jerry Lewis telethon back in the day, okay? 4 o'clock in the morning, they were still on there begging for dollars. But why? Because they knew the importance of the mission, and the mission was too important to let go. And you knew you were going to stay on till the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders came out. They teased you on 10 different commercial breaks till they came out, but you watched until they came out. At least I did. I'm telling them. But anyway, you know, hey, how do you not love the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders? Anyway, so thank you for the support. Please continue to support. This is a long-term mission. We call this our deployment that never ends. We don't have to worry about a re-up process because we're always re-up. We're never quitting on this. The mission's never gonna, you know, go away. It's only gonna grow and expand to help the 20+ million veterans in this country today. So we thank everybody again for their support. Please help as much as you can.
Awesome. Thank you, JR. So, Orca, you're wishing us a great weekend. I want to give you a chance, if you are saying goodbye, maybe you can say goodbye to everybody.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here, and I learned a lot about what JR is doing with the veterans. I make a donation midtime, but I'm thinking of how we can help them more to be something which is a continued contribution, because their needs are continuous. So I think my idea, beside the money, we can give them training or helping them to learn something new which they want to do in their life. But sure, this is between us. We have to talk and to think about how we can help them to become as much independent and that they can. This is, to me, it's like don't give a fish, help them to fish. So we'll keep in touch, and I love you, Kurt, and Sue, and always we will work together. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to be here.
No, thank you for wanting to share and wanting to help. You know, our brand behind Sue and behind Emily, you know, there's a meaning and a purpose to everything we do. And what that brand means, it just looks kind of cute. There's a meaning to everything. First of all, that blue is not only my wife's favorite color, it's the most trusted color on the color wheel. So it makes you feel soothing. But the brand is through horses, you can come full circle and lay down heavy coats of burden. So that's what we want everybody doing.
And I'm here to support you as much as I can.
Yeah, that's what everybody doing is renewing and coming full circle. So thank you so much and look forward to staying in touch.
My prayer is for every day since I didn't have anything because I was an immigrant 25 years ago. I had nothing. But always I pray to be able to give from what I made. So that is my desire, and I'm sure God will be with me, and I will be able to achieve my goal because it's a very meaningful one.
Yep, absolutely, Willie. Thank you very much.
Have a good weekend, and nice to meet all of you.
Thanks, Erica. We appreciate all your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Erica.
Okay.
All right. So Ralph, did Daniela leave the room? I know she left your camera view. Is she still in the room, or
she's still in the room laughing?
Hey,
He's in the room laughing at you?
Yes.
hey,
All right.
Kurt, I want to say something to JR. You brought back a great memory because I was the photographer for the Muscular Dystrophy Association in Las Vegas. I worked with Jerry every show. In fact, here's a group of some of my friends that I photographed many times.
Yeah, just a few recognizable faces there.
For young people, they don't know.
Yeah, I recognize almost every one of them.
Does that mean I'm not young? Because I recognize.
Yeah.
And Wayne Newton hadn't had any faceless then.
That's right. That's right.
Emily, where are you at? Where are you on that, Emily? Do you recognize them?
I couldn't. No.
All right. Well, I guess Emily's young. Emily's
Yeah.
Young.
The guy leading in
I saw a post on LinkedIn today that showed old rolls of caps that we'd use in our old, cowboy cap guns, and it said, if you recognize what these are, you're old as dirt. I'm like, old as dirt then, because I used them and played with them.
Yeah, we got somebody at H&P that sells dirt, right, folks? Yeah. All right, Ralph, we want to come back to you again. You're the instigator of this whole party, and I don't know what you had planned at the moment. You pledged us an hour, and you gave us an hour, and we're taking your whole afternoon. But how are you doing on time? You need to head on out. What's going on?
No, I'm just sitting here at my office. Now I'm gonna continue doing what I do. Just some paperwork, trying to catch up because all the meetings I go to kind of take away from me working. And then it's play catch up on a weekend, and then I do one-to-ones also. Today I didn't have any one-to-ones scheduled, so it was a great thing as far as getting a haircut. But I just hope people are making the donations and hope they continue to do so, not just because of me getting my haircut, just realizing what every veteran has sacrificed for us. We take all too often everything for granted that we have. And a lot of our veterans are mistreated. I even heard some that won't even put that they're a veteran on a job application because the employers are discriminating against them rather than helping them out. And that's just a disgrace in this country.
Yeah, that's for sure. So we did mention earlier about Project DieHard. I just want to add in there as far as email. If folks do want to email me about the show, you can email me Kurt@projectdiehard.org. That's Kurt with a K, K-U-R-T @projectdiehard.org. So Sue, coming in here in co-host fashion here. What I want to do is I want to embellish this Happy Neighborhood Project thing because, you know, with Edwin's work reaching tens of thousands of people around the world, you know, being recognized by the United Nations, and, you know, we're doing these efforts with the veterans, I really want to make this the group that, and the Veterans Ranch being the nonprofit that really pushes across all membership and all social media. I put on the HMP online networking group on Facebook, you know, that we're doing this. I really hope before we get to June that there's not a one person at the Happy Neighborhood Project that does not know about the Veterans Ranch and how it all works, and that we're in posting party style, you know, kind of doing the reactions and the commenting and the sharing, and, you know, really reaching the masses to find people who consider, you know, donating to this considerable cause. And whatever people do with donations is their own personal thing, but I think it's more of a check-in here in terms of how readily are we willing to dismiss the issue if we're not participating in spreading hope to veterans and sharing the content that is available digitally, at least, of the Veterans Ranch. So Sue, talk a little bit more about your participation with the Happy Neighborhood Project, and through us doing HMP Wisconsin, Minnesota, one of over 50 meetings and over 4,000 co-op members. Where do you see this going in the week ahead, the 11 days of the month yet? What do you think is possible with our happy neighbors?
With the organization, that's really what brought all of us, almost all of us that were here today together, was through that wonderful organization of Happy Neighborhood Project. I'm grateful for that, because without that, I wouldn't have met any of you awesome people. I'm so glad we're all here. And I do want to take just a second again to say a heartfelt thanks to Ralph for bringing this all together to make this happen. Huge. I love it. And there is so much we can do to spread the word on this. We are live right now with our Zoom. We will have a recording of this, obviously, but we're live right now on Facebook and on, I think you said you got it going out on Twitter. I've got it on YouTube. We've got it a lot of places. So I'll make sure whatever we can do here to get links in everybody's hands to spread this like wildfire. HMP has close to 50 meetings going on every week. So if we can all just take a moment and go to an extra meeting even and just say, hey, do you know what happened last weekend? We had this really cool thing that happened, and you know Ralph, right? You're not going to recognize him, and here's why. So we want to make Ralph famous this week with what you've done, and in turn make everybody well aware of the Veterans Ranch and what opportunities exist there and what we can all do to help in this awesome cause. So it's rare that I actually kind of tear up at all during these events. Today, I don't know if I was doing this a couple of times because this was awesome. Hearing what is going on with the Veterans Ranch and seeing what Ralph was actually doing and giving of himself. I mean, talk about personally giving of yourself. Really, this is great. And I am in awe and grateful. So thank you guys so much. And I'll pass it back over to you, Kurt.
All right, thank you very much. So, you know, and sometimes we have in this 501c3 nonprofit world and charities and volunteer groups, and sometimes you have an intersection where there can be two issues that come together at the same time. So Dee has on his background Truckers Against Human Children Sex Trafficking. Imagine, you know, first of all, the veteran truckers, thank you very much for on both sides of this equation for what you do, have done and do and continue to do, but then to come together and to fight this issue, and then to say, you know, look at what a veteran may be going through for everything we're talking about today, and then all of a sudden their child is the one that is a victim of child sex trafficking. So Dee, give us a little bit more of what's all going on to that. Let's go ahead and talk to that a little bit, because we appreciate that you're advocating that message.
Well, thank you, Kurt. But it's so sickening what is happening and still happening, especially with Title 42 gone and our borders, as JR knows, is a sieve. And the coyotes are not just bringing in people who want to be here, they're bringing in business. They're bringing in children women, and they're actually putting them in basically chains in the jail. They actually have to pay back all the money they used to get across the border by prostituting themselves. And these are 12 to 14-year-old boys and girls and women. And truckers have been fighting this for many years. The Truckers Against Trafficking is an organization all over the United States. And you can see on my chat, there's a video that they talk about it. But it has been going on for a long time. As you've said, in the East Coast, the Midwest, the truck stops are still fighting this even before all this happening on our border. So anybody who purchases our product online through my Fuel Confidence website, and any other person you may know who's a Fuel XP3 distributor, we can contribute a portion of that order to Truckers Against Trafficking. And that's how we support them. In fact, I do RVing, and I'm thinking about seeing how we can put this together for recreational vehicle parks. Because I know that these people who are trafficking are traveling in RVs, and they're actually staying somewhere when they're not working. And I've seen RVs in RV parks they're kind of weird. You know, you think that the kids aren't playing outside. You see them at the windows, but you don't see them playing. This is before I ever got into XP3. I thought it was strange, but maybe they just, that's the way they were. But now I look back and I say, they were probably being sex trafficked, and they can't even go out and play because their pimps, as you want to call them, are in control of their complete lives. So yeah, that's another reason why I got into XP3 is because I learned that from my person who introduced me, and I was all in for that because if I can do any more, and I do as much as I can with the organization to stop this or to control it, I hope you guys do the same thing. Just like Ralph, he ordered XP3 and a percentage of that went to this organization. So any other comments or questions you have? Did I answer your question, Kurt?
Yeah, that's great. I just thought, and we have great work being done in front of us, and what you're doing, keeping that moniker going forward, and so it's interesting to sit here and just think of the humanitarian efforts that we all work together to move forward. And so I just appreciate these opportunities and how we can work together to do great work. I believe in success breeds success. So the success with a nonprofit like the Veterans Ranch, like I say, by helping these veterans, helping mothers and fathers who are veterans, and then to protect our children and help make sure that that we just don't have crimes adding to the element that folks are dealing with, like our veterans when we talk about PTSD or whatever. But and look at all of the things, this week, this life reality of every time you're meeting people who's fighting a battle that you don't know, or going through, you don't know, because when we're social, we don't want to be a burden on other people. So we try to suppress and repress, and, we try to leave that in the background because we always want to have this positive experience for each other. And, so it's just something that it's interesting in life how we become more mindful of what could be. You never know who's out there, who's, child or wife or, whoever it is, fell victim to, being sex trafficked.
One of the other things that I didn't mention, we actually put a card in our window. Do you need help? Call this number. It's toll free, or talk to the person with the card if you can. I mean, we're trying to reach them, but they're so confined and afraid. They don't know what to do. But if they ever get free enough to make a phone call or have somebody do it for them, then there's help for them.
Yep, good stuff. And that's back on the Veteran Ranch side and dealing with the issue of veteran suicide. The telephone numbers, you know, the main veteran helpline, you know, for veterans and stuff like that. You know, it's all part of the business here. It's almost like a health and human services front. And so again, Ralph, thank you very much for, you know, brainstorming this and to look at innovation, to be creative. And when your heart is really into it, when your mind's really on it, when it really stirs in your belly that, you know, we want to do something, we say to ourselves, Kurt, I want to do this. And then Kurt comes forward, I come forward, and then you see me do this stuff because I want to do it. So that's, I guess, what I'm reaching for is that, you know, let's do a check-in. Let's do a roll call across America and beyond, internationally, worldwide, whatever. Let's check in with everybody we know, and let's see what appetite might be there to help veterans worldwide. So, so let's do a little bit of just quick commentary towards that. JR, again, I just want to spotlight Ralph's creativity, innovation. If it wasn't for his initiative, you know, to me, I want to spur that. I want this to be inspiration that individuals far and wide are being creative like this, because this is what it takes. More Ralph Danas in the world to make this work, right, Chair?
Well, that's the bottom line. And Ralph, thanks so much. I mean, when you first brought this up to me, I'm like, really? I know how much, you know, we all saw it when we got on your right. I know how much hair you had. You know, it takes them a hot minute. Well, it does me. I don't know, maybe it takes you 5 minutes. It didn't, you know, to grow a good beard. You know, some people can grow a good beard in 2 days. You know, I get all splotchy patchy. Anyway, so thank you so much for the creativity and be willing to do this to raise the awareness of our organization. We thank you so much. And Kurt, you're absolutely right. You know, sometimes it just takes something fun. You know, fun, funny, whatever. You know, you can do all kinds of stuff, right? You can have you know, do the old school bake sale, you know, at your church. There's so many things you can do to have fun, to raise money, raise awareness, because we don't talk about veterans issues on the daily. It's not water cooler talk. And I understand on the veteran suicide issue, no one's going to go, hey, do you hear we're 44 a day today? It's not like you ask about the Monday night football game the night before, right? We understand that. But if we don't start discussing these issues, they're never going to go away. They're only going to get worse. We have 180 million plus working age people in this country. Okay. We're looking for 22,000 of them to give what they can. If you can do $180, great. You know, but here's my challenge to everybody who's making a donation today, tomorrow, whenever you can do it. Challenge your friends to do this, to do the same. Challenge your family, challenge your coworkers, put it on your social media. I am one guy. I manage 13 different social media platforms at one time. Thank God for Hello Woofy, so I can schedule all that stuff, okay? But it's not easy managing 13 different social media platforms. A lot of y'all in here can, you know, do the bobblehead thing and understand where I'm coming from, right? But I'm one guy. I can only reach so many people. The algorithm only will let me go so far. But if you share one of my messages, that has some impact. If you say, I'm challenging my network to do the same thing, carries so much more impact than just sharing my message. We all share thousands of messages a week. You know, boom, share, boom, you go on, do whatever you're doing. You may not even read the whole thing. But if you challenge your friends, family, coworkers, church members, folks, that 22,000 number's nothing. We doubled that. So I'm challenging everybody who's watching today to challenge all of your friends and see what we can get done.
All right. So that makes it a 44-minute encore with the World of Ability show. First since, you know, we've never done this long of an encore before, but this is the position that, you know, we're in, and this is the response needed. So we just give her all we've got. And go ahead, Dean. Look at that. It keeps going. Go ahead, Dean.
Oh, I just wondered when Daniela is getting back with the shaving cream and the razor.
I'm gonna step off and do that because I'm a little nervous to let her have a razor to my face.
Just kidding, Ralph.
But my thing is this: if everybody would just give up one cup of coffee, either from Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, or whatever, a day, You're talking close to $200, $237 a month. Give it to the veterans.
Yep, there you go. Good call. Good call. So I think we've got the good messages there to button this up. So as part of these call to actions, you know, Dee, Emily, Sue, JR, Ralph, and myself, the 6 of us, let's get onto some of these videos and take a look at it, make sure we're putting all of our typed out messages and getting it out ourselves, thinking if there's anybody that we didn't have in this last hour, 40 minutes that we want to reach out to, and then everybody who's getting this to keep doing that. Let's keep mushrooming this out and getting it out there far and wide. So with that, we'll call that the end, and we'll stay tuned for the next efforts by the Veterans Ranch. So for that, we're out of here. Kurt, Emily, Dee, Sue, JR, and Ralph saying bye-bye. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for everything that you are doing.
Recording stopped.
My pleasure.